on. All right, here we go. So 60, not 60 watt. 60 watt is an incandescent bulb. We are holding by Simon Ches. I apologize for being, teasing and this, but you got to do something. You got to put a smile on people's face. It's like you can't. I heard a story. About a guy. Guy takes his son on a shopping trip when he buys stuff for his business, and he goes to the merchant. They travel. They go to the merchant, whatever, and he says, "Give me this, and give me this, and give me this, and give me that." And then they make the tally, and he sits. You hear? And Louis says he sits with Louis. He sits with him, and he handles with him. He brings him down, mamash, to the point that he shechts him. He kills him, slaughters him with a price. When they finish the negotiations, settle the price, they go out. The son tells his father, he says, you got to explain this to me. He says, I know you're never going to pay him anyhow. So why did you bother, bring him down with the price like this? And the father says, see, that's what I wanted to teach you. In business, you gotta have a heart. If you're gonna make another guy lose money by not paying him, make sure that he loses the least. I don't know how good it is, but anyhow. 60, yeah. Well, Zion, we already we learned that we're holding by Ches. So what we said is that basically the path of Torah that has a tremendous hisbonenus, have a great vision in Torah, very deep in Torah mysteries. The only way to get to it is through wealth. And this particular wealth, a person can only get to by widening and increasing his daily life with additions of Kedusha. It's called the Richos Yom, and that's longevity, B'chinas Zokein. As we begin at the beginning, this Tikkun Atik, it is the Keser Elyon, Shem Bar Chai. This is the chest, the treasury, the faculty with which you receive that wealth into it that you need in order to have this insight into Torah. And to gain this kind of Arichas Yomim, you need Yira. We explain that Yira comes with the three Shloisha Kavim, is the B'chinos, Mer Shamayim, Rabcha, Avaim. We explain what that means. And the way to get to Yira, that the Yira stops being theoretical, and it becomes L'maisadik. You go through providing special providence for barren women, Pkidas HaKoros. And Pkidas HaKoros is a phenomena that occurs when you wake up people from their spiritual sleep. People are going through their lives asleep. Either they ate food that is not refined for human consumption, meaning that they're eating for not the right kavana. They're eating, for Epicurean delight. They're not eating, the kavana of. No, this is l'shem Torah. This is why it's here. No, seriously. This is the l'shem Torah. Or when people, of course, chas v'chalila, various whatever. And when people fall into a bechina of sleep, that makes all the avodah without seichel, There's a Pchinas Ponim. And it doesn't go up. On the end, they learn, yeah, they daven, yeah, they do mitzvahs, but it's basically like somebody who's sleepwalking. They do it because that's what we do. Obviously it's better than nothing. Obviously it's better than the virus. Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't have nachasura from them. Because this avodah doesn't go up. This is what's the pshat avodah. What the pshat avodah going up? This is that when the avodah is done properly, all the mitzvahs and all the Torah and all the tefillah brings about shefa and plenty and bounty to the upper worlds. And when a person is doing all his avodah in a perfunctory manner, then his avodah doesn't go up. Avodah doesn't go up means that it doesn't open up the faucets for the spiritual realms.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I can remember somewhere the prayers could be stolen. The prayers are stolen. Prayers can be stolen.
I don't know about that.
Because he says the Ganavim on the well-traveled path.
Oh, that means that once you start davening, you lose your kavanah. It's not you lose your kavanah, and when you lose your kavanah, then they take whatever. But still, you're davening, so there's kedusha there. So it's being kidnapped.
Prayers are stolen.
No, it's being the kedusha is being kidnapped. This is bichlal the avodah of the sitra achar. That's what it does. It is to see the main water main of life force comes from the kedusha. Now, but the tumah it wants to live. So what does it do? It goes to what the kedusha is and tries to distract you. When it manages to distract you, then kedusha that you're working on falls off to them, and they suck it off from you, or from your person. That means davening kavanah. I shouldn't say that, but that's the principle of how it works. This is it's always like that, because that's why the tumah always is running after the kedusha. They say that Yetzirah leaves the entire world and goes after the Yidden. It leaves all the Yidden, goes after Talmid Chachamim. You know why? Because this is where the kedusha is. This is where the life source is. So, that's where the fight is. That's the pitch. That's the playing ground. This is where the action is. Because the kedusha comes, the chayes is only from the kedusha. So, when a person is doing his avodah properly, he doesn't only rectify himself, but he also fixes all the oiliness, all the spiritual realms. You're fixing the entire world, fixing yourself and the entire world, because everything is tied together. But when a person does his avodah, his tefillah, which is when we say that the tefillah doesn't go up, what does it mean tefillah doesn't go up? Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't hear me. Kodesh Baruch Hu needs me to have a Lebanon box with a string to another to hear what I'm saying. Kodesh Baruch Hu can hear me anywhere. That's not Kodesh Baruch Hu hears me. But that means that the tefillah does not feed all the oilamas, all the spiritual realms. It feeds you, besides, it saves you from whatever it saves you from virus and so whatever it is. But as the pasuk says, Rabbeinu says that Karov Hashem l'chol korav, Hashem is close to all those who call him. L'chol asher yikru be'emes, to all those who call him be'emes, in truth. So the first part of the pasuk negates the second part. First part of the pasuk says, "Kol Hashem karov Hashem lechol kol." Anybody who calls him. The second part of the pasuk says, "To all those who call him be'emes." In other words, not everybody, but just all those who call him be'emes. So is it kol korav, or just those who call him be'emes? Which is it? I actually had, believe it or not, a guy from guy. Guys learn. He actually told me that Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't hear my prayer. Excuse me. He's giving this pasuk. All those who call him in truth, you call him Kodesh Baruch Hu be'emes. So I say, so who does? Tzaddikim, the tzaddikim, whatever it is. Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't hear. Because that's what you're talking about. So I said, but what do you do with the first part of the pasuk? Hashem is close, to all those who call him. The second part it says to those who call him be'emes. But the first part says to everybody, right? So what do you do with it? I understand, how you dissect the pasuk to mean that only those who really were calling him be'emes, it isn't fine. I understand that. But what do you do with the first part of the pasuk? His answer was hakmish kachaylik. Just stop talking nonsense. We're talking about, it's a pasuk, it's written there when you're talking nonsense. So Rabbeinu explains that. He says when Kodesh Baruch Hu is close to anyone, to everyone, he's all those who call him. But he says, but sometimes your mind is elsewhere. And sometimes your mind is focused. You're really calling to Kodesh Baruch Hu. So Kodesh Baruch Hu answers everybody. But what does he answer? He answers that feeling that you really mean. That feeling he answers. Doesn't matter who you are. Anybody. But anyhow, so when a person is not connected to that sechel, the sechel upon him, is upon him, so he's basically walking in this world like a zombie. It's like he's sleepwalking his life. So he davens, he learns, but that it doesn't go up. It means it doesn't give highest to the upper world. And when people are awakened, from their slumber, you have to, in order to wake up from the slumber, you need to tell them stories from either the 70 years or those that felt totally, completely. You have to tell them Sipurei Maisos Mishonim Kadmonios that embedded in it, the stories are beyond time and place. And he says it's like somebody who has problem with his eyesight. You see, Rav Lewis, he was so identified with this Torah, with the Torah with the blind side, you have to cover it, slowly. So he started coming with sunglasses.
Because the Torah was too much.
No, because his face, his seichel is too much. It's like the light. Somebody's eyes are not right, and they do some kind of treatment. So, they have to expose to the light gradually. I'm just kidding you. I'm just I'm yanking your chain, pulling your leg.
You don't mean
what?
You said like the Torah is too strong for people's eyes?
No. So he says that when you open up the seichel of a person illuminates his way.
It's too much.
It can be too much.
What do you do?
So that's why it's covered with Sipurei Maisos. Sipurei Maisos are subduing the light. It's like a gauze, kind of like a diffuse the light. So it's not too. This is what the tzaddik does. And we said that when you wake up people, with Torah, with Sipurei Maisos, you have to be very careful, not that your Torah will not be heard by Talmidim which are dishonest. dishonest Talmidim. So Rabbeinu says, how do you know which Talmidim are honest and which are not? You can't tell. Rabbeinu says that when you teach, you have to teach in a way of lilmod, ulalamod, lishmer, velasis. To learn and to teach and to keep and do. But when you do that, if that is your kavana is to bring lamaisa. So what's the definition of dishonest student? So it's somebody who listens to what you're telling him, who's come to learn what you're telling him, but he doesn't come in order to do it, to do a mekayim this, and to keep it, to become a better Jew, to be the same with it. And it goes like, wow, this is really fascinating. It's like, look, I'm a frum Jew, it says anyhow, right? And I need to get chayas, which is, I understand that. So I'm going to go to a guy, and this guy is like so dazzling. It's so like, whoa, and this, like a karate kid, with this Torah, and it's like fascinating, and stories, and this and that. It's very intellectual and all kinds of. So I come to here, so that student comes to here because it's very interesting. But they don't come to here in order to be Mekayah. That's called a dishonest Talmud. So when a person, you try to give a full service, when you teach in order lilmod l'olamad lishma v'lasais, because Baruch Hu makes it so that whatever it is that you teach that Talmud goes one ear and out the other. In other words, it does not become inscribed on the tablet of his heart.
Isn't there also an issue with the dishonest teachers too?
Oh, so I actually asked. It's good, very good question. So Rabbeinu speaks about it in different places. It says that a person needs to keep away from dishonest teachers. Ad kedei kach, Rabbeinu calls them, Jewish demons. Remember, and that their Torah is actually harmful. It's harmful because what it does, it means it's a Torah that does not lead to Lamaisa. And it says that people come to hear the Torah, and they're thinking that they'll get to the Elis, they'll get, they'll be helped, they'll be able to start Kodesh Baruch Hu with this Torah. And instead, they're getting all kinds of mental gymnastics and all kinds of really arabesques and real creative, diuk and whatever it is. But it's barren. It does not lead to Lamaisa. So Rabbeinu says what it does is that not only do these Rabbanim tire the Talmidim, make them tired. They tire out the Talmidim because they come because they want to come close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And you're telling them all kinds of Baba Maises. You're coming all kinds of, he says it also introduces insidious heresy, because it makes people feel as if a Kodesh Baruch Hu is unable. I mean, I come here because I want to serve Hashem. That's why I'm here. And instead, I'm hearing all these fancy drushes, and which don't lead me anywhere. And that's Yiddishkeit, right? I mean, this is what it is. So it sort of casts like an overall cast that like the whole thing is a joke. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing is like it's like a game. It's not for real. Because Baruch Hu can't really bring me to becoming Oived Hashem. So the Rebbe says it's a pasuk. Me'at mikem. Is it not enough for you? Kitzalu anoshim, that you tire out people. Kisalu elokim, that you weaken Kodesh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol, which means you're causing the people to have the impression, and it's insidious. People don't think it clear. It's like, undercurrent. as if HaKadosh Baruch Hu really can help me, get me to Avodas Hashem. The whole thing is like, you know.
I don't know if I mentioned before that in my former community, I think I went on one time. There was somebody in the community giving a share on the Sekta and Tzia. And I raised my hand and I thought about returning a lost object. That example was a diamond, okay, without identification. So I made a fetish, so to say, about the idea of, if you think of a person's soul as a diamond, then you can, when you see this person is tumbling down off the dirt, that you try to rescue him.
Yeah.
Right. So the person teaching the class said, "You're too much into Hasidus. This is only law." And I said, "Only law?" He said, "Yeah, it's only law." So I said, "Then why don't I enroll in Detroit College of Law instead of coming to this year?"
Yeah, you know, it's lahavdil. You know Rabbi Akiva Katz. He said that he once flew to South Africa, and he sat next to a missionary. The guy was really into, and the guy was trying, pumping him, with all this nonsense, whatever. So he asked him a question, like, how can you say that it is this and when it is that? There are all kinds, of inherent contradictions in their dogma. So the guy's answer was, "You don't understand. It's faith. It doesn't have to make sense. It's like it's like faith. It's like it's a belief. It's a cream puff. It's not. It's it's not a. It's not real. It's like it's a thing. It's like with the rock singers, they all sing, where the car, this car, they make them sort of, why are you doing like that? You don't speak like that. No, but it's a thing. You don't understand. It's the same thing. It's like so, Havdil, when you learn Torah from Talmidei Chachamim, which are Jewish demons, it causes you to think that Yiddish is also, this kind of, I'm telling you, like a thing, like a make believe, like a shtick, that's like a cream puff. It's like a cloud of. So I asked Rabbi Teichner that when you teach the Talmidim, you have to have this kind of kavon of lilu and lamed lishma v'lasus. That keeps those who are dishonest, from retaining what you're saying. So I asked him whether it works the other way also. Whether when you go to listen to somebody's shir, and you're coming with the kavana of, why I'm going to learn, not because it's interesting, not because it's fascinating, not because the guy is so smart. Man, he is like so smart, his brain is going to explode. No, you're coming there and little lamed lishma v'lasos. You want to start Kadosh Baruch Hu with it, whether that guards you from the words, the poison of the words of that Talmid Chochem Jewish demon from harming you. In other words, I asked, so he says it's a very interesting question. I mean, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I mean, if you're coming, hell-bent on learning in order for me to get close to Kodesh Baruch Hu, with Avodas Hashem. If you're Hakimi a Chainik, without Kalamaisis to show me how brilliant you are, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. It makes perfect sense that the kavana that you have influences, that you get siyata d'shmaya to hear what you need to hear and keep you away from. You understand it because you're hearing Torah from a Talmid Chacham Shedi. then that means that it puts heresy in you. It's a very serious business.
You're saying they're teaching it wrong in the yeshivas, the Gemara?
I did not say that. All I'm saying is Talmud Chochem Shindal Yud. I mean, I don't get him into trouble, okay?
That's what he said.
I know what he said. Whatever it is, I don't want to get into trouble. There's oil in my bow. I don't want to start. There's hell to pay. I don't want to get into this. I'm telling what Rabbeinu says. Rabbeinu says so. I say so.
They shouldn't teach the Gemara the way they're doing it.
He didn't say that either. It says when you hear Torah from the Chachomim, the Jewish demons, it introduces inherent heresy into those who hear it. Because who are you talking to? About the way the Lord Gemara in the yeshivas, or the way this? Chas v'chalila. I don't want to say that. I will never say that. I don't have Venus in it. Listen. The best thing is not to say pro or con. Chas v'chalila. To say, I'm instructed to learn Torah. There is such a thing as specifically if that Talmid Chacham goes against the tzaddik, that is a good siman that he's.
Well, but you could say there's better ways to learn.
I bechavona don't want to get into. I don't. I know. Obviously, you need to know, but I can't give you an answer. I can make up an answer if you want. I'll be very funny.
I guess what he said. Now, we had to learn, like, not just filter learn, like the hidden meaning. That's probably what the rest of the yeshivas do.
But what I'm saying is, I can tell you what I know. What I don't know, or I can tell you what I think. I tell you this is my opinion. But if I don't know, and my opinion is just as good as anybody else's, because I have no clue.
So what do you think? What do you think? So I can have an idea.
I think that the stock market is going to go up. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Well, there you go. My mother-in-law, she's coming to Israel. So, no, I'm not in trouble. Baruch Hashem, nice lady. Anyhow, she's coming to Israel. So she used to ask me many times, about things that are going. He goes, what's my opinion about the political situation? So I said, I don't know, like what Israel should do, whatever. I don't know. She said, no, I'm asking for your opinion. But I said, what opinion should I give? If I don't know, what matters? What does it matter what my opinion is?
One word to sum it up.
Yeah.
Mishkas.
There you go. Now I should tell her an opinion. I think this one, forget about it. That one, what? Which one is this? Which one is this? I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Yeah.
An example of a Jewish demon is
Just no names. No names.
there's a historical person Jew, who taught Franklin Delano Roosevelt in terms of having Jews come to America. And this person had a leadership position.
I know it is.
Okay, and he went all over Canada and the United States recruiting people for his so-called form of Judaism, but he didn't tell them the truth. Okay, so
That's Bechlal. This is we're not even talking about people who are that far. I mean, everybody knows that these people are heretics. We know that. We're talking about people that are, that with beard in the Torah world. I'm not talking about.
He grew up in a Chabad home in Winnipeg, and he was recruited, and nobody had any idea of what
People did. There's some of our people who problems. Anyhow, so this is how you do it. And when a person learns like that, then he is the trufa tamid chacham. He says lahatir pe akoros the trufa lahatir pe. He has opened up the mouth. and it enables barren women to give birth, people that are sleeping their lives to wake up and smell the coffee, wake up and say, whoa, there is oil in my bowl, that ain't funny. This is really not funny. Well, okay. וזה בחינת מה שאמרו אותנו זיכרון לברכה על הפסוק that we said about that the truthful, we heard about that. It says until then they were only deaf and they wouldn't listen. He says when people are waking up, is ilmim. He says he says there's going to be we spoke about a stream that will come from Beis Hamikdash, and the trees that will grow on the banks of that stream. Yeah, so there'll be that speaks about Sanhedrin brings this pasuk that Valera Trufa that the fruits will feed everybody, and the speech, the leaves of that tree will be remedy for everything. So this is the Chazal said, to undo, to open up the mouth of the mute, and open up the mouth of barren women, which means they'll be able to give birth. So we get pregnant and they'll be able to give birth. So this Rabbeinu said that the people that are asleep, they were Pchinas Sheino, they were spiritually asleep. The words of the Chacham didn't even hear his words because he was mute. Why didn't he hear? So they said they were like deaf. Definition, the Gemara says cheresh, that is parted from various halachas, whatever it is, it's not kosher, to do various mitzvahs. It says stam cheresh. The partial definition of cheresh is somebody that he doesn't hear and he doesn't speak. Because he never heard anybody speak, so how does he know how to speak? Is that how speech, hears like? If he used to hear, then he's able to speak, because he knows how it's supposed to sound and how you're doing it. And we mentioned that's the last thing that we spoke about last week. And then we took it somewhere else. It says that we have this, we can meet this problem, whereas we come to speak to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and we can't open up our mouth. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of issues. And when we come to Kodesh Baruch Hu to speak, somehow everything gets jumbled up. I don't know what to speak about first and what to speak about second. I feel bad about what it is I want to speak about, because what I really feel pressured by is either I don't feel well physically, or I don't have money, or whatever it is. But I feel this is what I have to speak to Kodesh Baruch Hu. First of all, I'm supposed to give him thanks, right? And then I'm supposed to read daven about Ruchnius. So but over here, this I don't feel like. And what I feel like, it's like secondary. So altogether, I'm standing there and I'm all, I'm twisted like a pretzel. How do I start? And what do I talk about? And then I don't find the words. And the whole thing is like, I'm sitting there and I feel like, what am I doing here? Okay, 2 minutes, I'll get up. So words do not come forth. It seems like the heart is closed. So we said the reason for it is because I don't listen. When it says, Cheresh doesn't hear, doesn't speak. So why don't you speak? Because you don't hear. What does it mean you don't hear? It means I hear, but I don't listen. I don't take it to heart. I'm not trying to various things. I should guard my eyes. I shouldn't look, whatever it is. Or I should do this and I don't do that. I should be kind to people. I should be generous. I should be this, should be that. Uh, in other words, I talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk. How come? That's what I'm holding. Ever heard that? That's what I'm a dranger. It's like, shouldn't be a fanatic. I'm not holding the end. You know why I'm not doing it? I don't feel like doing it. I'm too lazy. I'm giving myself a reduction in price. It's chizik, wrestling, Rabbeinu, no problem. Don't work hard. What are you talking about? That means I'm not really listening to what I'm saying. If I'm not listening to what I'm saying, I can't talk. I can't talk about it to Kadosh Baruch Hu, because I don't really mean it seriously. If I don't mean it seriously, I can't talk about it. How do I know when I really am having honest difficulties and when I'm really kidding myself? The answer is you talk as much as you can. I am having problems talking about it because I'm not really taking this seriously enough. I haven't really internalized the idea that, whoa, time is passing, next world is coming closer, and there's literally, every moment is accounted for. There's no, okay, put it on pause and let's go ahead and just fool around a little bit. There's no such thing. There's no, now let's go to a nightclub. No such thing.
No relax.
There's no, everything counts. The clock is ticking. Everything is, but somehow a part of it. How do I know when a part of me is I could overcome it, but I really don't want to, or I don't care enough to want to, or I really want to, but I really can't. How do you tell which is which? The answer is I talk as much as I can, and I bring out the two possibilities. Maybe I'm not listening. Help me listen. Maybe I can't. Help me accept it. In other words, you always deal with what's in front of you. You can tell. You can know. But as we learn in Terech Chaf, Tmunas Hashem Yabit, when it's about Moshe Rabbeinu, it says, by us it's called, close your eyes from Yatzim Einav Me'eros Bara. Shut your eyes from seeing that. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, Tmunas Hashem Yabit. He gazes upon the countenance of Hashem. It means, what does it mean? Yatzim Einav Me'eros Bara. Shut your eyes from seeing that. It doesn't just mean don't look down, don't look at things that are beneath you.
You can see bad even if you close your eyes.
Yes, that's looking things which are beneath you. Doesn't necessarily mean just, physical eyesight. It means, of course it means, but also, fantasizing on, but it also means don't look at things which are above your madrega. That's also doesn't belong to you. Nothing is very particular in Likutey Moharan. Look on only what Hashem is showing you. Only what Hashem is showing you, this is what you should look at. If you do that, he says, you'll go from one madrega to the next, you'll never make any mistake, you'll never falter.
If you get too high, you can be disappointed.
You will be. No, you can be. You will be. You will be. You'll falter. You'll crash. You'll crash or burn. The idea is that, as I said, I just put a conundrum. If I don't listen, if I don't take it seriously, I just talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk. It results in me not being able to speak. Cherish, somebody doesn't hear. Ein Medaber is not speaking. So how can I tell, which is which? The answer is I can't. I can't. It's an indication. There's something I'm not listening to. It's usually a combination of both things. Being that I really can't, there's part of it that I can't, and part of it that I don't care. I don't know which is which, but it's usually a mixture of both. So you're speaking about this to Kodesh Baruch Hu. I don't know which part of it I can't, and which part I don't even want to. I'm not sure. I know that basically I want to, and basically I really want to go back to sleep. I don't want to work too hard. It's just like I have both things, and I don't know which is which. So help me out with that, because that's an honest look. That's an honest look. That's a true look. That's a true preservation. That's Tmunas Hashem Yabi. And now when the Chacham awakes him and he hears his words, then you can start talking. When you get close to Rabbeinu, you're close to the Tzaddik Emes. This one has, I thought maybe at the end of Teres Shabbat, maybe we should start learning a little Likutey Halachos. It could be a different kind of a shir if we feel like it. The Likutey Halachos Yichos Basa B'Cholav Halacha Daled is astonishing. It is shattering. It's shattering. Why it is so crucial to be connected to the Tzaddik Emes Lamita, Tzaddik Godel B'Mayla. The person shouldn't say, something. Maybe I'll just be nikush to somebody who's a kosher yid. It's a little bit elevated, a little bit in the yid, a little bit. Alavai should be like him first. Aveda says that's not good. That's not enough. He says because as much as a person knows his own afflictions, he should look for the biggest rabbi there is. And Wilson explains it at great depth. I mean, it is so crucial. We'll talk about it with Hashem next week. We have to finish now. We had some fun. We talked some Torah. We had ourselves a good time. Now, time to wish everybody a good Shabbos. Hashem, Yimatzliach, Kol Tov, just